Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.50. Right now, XRP is fluctuating between $2.40 and $2.60, like consolidation before the next move up. And you could really see it on the 7-day chart. But the next move up for XRP, I think it's going to be big. I think we're going to push right above $3 easily. Everybody thinks we're going to go to $4 plus. I think it's going to be a gradual move upward before we go into price discovery. That could happen very soon. I'm expecting by the end of this month that XRP should be well above $4 if everything continues the way it is right now. Because if you look at the 2017 chart, we've seen this happen right here, that major crash, and then shortly after, we had a major move upward. Will the same thing happen? Nobody really knows. I'm optimistic that it's going to happen, though. I really want it to happen, let's put it that way. I'm sure all of you would like to see that as well. But a lot of big things can happen over a period of 2 weeks in crypto. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll reopen the government and all of a sudden the ETFs will go live. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Look at Bitcoin, back down under 113K. It's ranging as well, and we're still following Bitcoin. You know, everybody's like, look at XRP, it's in the red again today. Well, so is Bitcoin, and we are following Bitcoin. Eventually, we will decouple from it because XRP has utility and Bitcoin doesn't. XRP ETF decisions are due on October the 25th, so Coinbase will be down for 4 hours on the same day during daylight hours. Coincidence? I think not. So you see, Coinbase has a scheduled upgrade for October 25th, but the ETFs are not scheduled to go live on that day. They've been delayed because of the government shutdown. XRP ETF countdown. Top expert reveals the timeline. Once the government shutdown ends, spot crypto ETF floodgates will open. That comes from Nate Garossi. I even talked about that in a video yesterday. I said nothing's going to happen with the ETFs as long as the government stays shut down. So hopefully they reopen the government and Atkins fast tracks these ETFs. But you could have found this with a quick Google search. People don't even search on Google. It says, no, spot XRP ETFs will not go live on Saturday, October 18th. Because I saw other people saying on the 18th, every single XRP holder is going to get rich like an overnight event. But this has been delayed. And it seems like we're waiting all the time for something when it comes to XRP. It's like you get a timeline and then all of a sudden something changes that timeline. We've seen that all along the way. Remember the Ripple versus SEC case? Every time it looked like that case was about to end, something would happen and then it would get delayed once again. Now it's happening with the ETFs. This comes from Alex Cobb. The next leg up on XRP will have Bitcoiners genuinely worried about their #1 spot. XRP is not bearish in the slightest. It absolutely is not bearish. And I'm telling you, once XRP really starts to break out, watch how the Bitcoin marketing team really amps up their game. They're going to be on the mainstream media news discrediting Ripple and XRP. They're going to be all over X doing the same thing, especially once XRP flips Ethereum. Then all of a sudden you're going to have people like Tom Lee saying it's only a temporary flipping. ETH is going to come back and take back its #2 spot. We will see that happen in this run. 99% of XRP holders will sell between $10 and $20, not understanding that XRP is a key part of the new financial system we are entering. In the event of a bear market, it may go down, but if it's adopted, it will decouple from Bitcoin. XRP will rise without ever stopping. And David Schwartz says, we are on the verge of institutional adoption. And once you get that institutional adoption, mass adoption will happen quickly after, because the institutions are going to open up crypto to every single person in the world. People are going to be using crypto and blockchain. They're not even going to know it's happening. They're just going to be going about their day-to-day lives. And in the background, blockchain is going to be the core of all of it. You're going to see people making real-time payments, not even knowing it's running on blockchain rails, and using something like XRP. Are you mentally prepared for this? So I seen this chart and I was like, okay, they're saying XRP is going to go up to $1,850. I'm telling you right now, if that happens, I'm moving to an island somewhere and I'm going to be sipping drinks out of a coconut. I honestly think XRP is going to come in somewhere on this first line, the 3.618 shown here, somewhere between $50 and say $170. If all the catalysts play out, I think we could possibly get there, especially if Ripple gets that banking license. That's going to be very bullish for XRP. And we got to look at how much money comes in through the ETFs as well. I still think it's too early to call where XRP is going, but it's a real reach for XRP to reach $1,850. I'm just not seeing it happen in this run. Now, I think it could happen later with utility driving the price of XRP. There's a good chance of that happening. But that's not the most outrageous prediction I have seen today. So a lot of people were calling out Crypto X AI Man, but he didn't say this. He just used this in a video. Who really said this was Jake Claver. XRP to $1 million. Take a listen.
XRP to $1 million. Can XRP hit $1 million in the next 10 years? Is that possible?
I think, David Schwartz has talked about XRP being $1 million. I know that sounds like hopium, okay, but there's a lot of people that didn't think Bitcoin would get to 1 million. At this point, a lot of people are like, well, it's a foregone conclusion it'll get to 1 million. So anyway, I think it's highly possible in the next 10 years, talking 2035, you could see $1 million XRP.
I could possibly see that actually happening, but it depends on how much money and how much value is running across the XRP ledger. The reason I think that could happen, though, it's not so much about the money. It's about everything being tokenized. I'm talking about private property being tokenized, everything around you being a tokenized asset. Then running that across the XRP ledger and XRP moving all that value, I could see that possibly happening. And then you got to add in the fact that most likely we will have a gold-backed currency by then. Most countries will have their currencies backed by gold. So there's going to be more value there. And XRP can move anything of value. So saying 10 years from now, who really knows? You can't say one way or another it's never going to happen, because I've seen so many crazy things happen in crypto. If you went back to the 2017 run, XRP was way under a penny. I'm talking it was like 0.0001. When people were saying it's going to 25 cents. It ended up going to $3.80. Think about that. So back then, that would have been like a dream price point for XRP. It's never going to happen. It's never even going above $1. That's what most people have said back then. But it pulled off a major shocker. In this run, I'm thinking that it's going to come in somewhere around 50 to $100. And it depends on the inflows, things like that. But who knows? Everybody's calling for a $27 XRP. It might play out to be another shocker like 2017. Maybe it goes to $300-400. We really don't know. It's too early to say still. But $1 million in 10 years, let's see what happens. Big news for XRP. The Bank of France is officially testing Ripple's private ledger for a potential digital euro. Per a new Ulster University study, Ripple Tech could power the future of Europe's money. I think Europe's money is definitely going to be running across the XRP ledger. But again, they even mentioned the private ledger. And what have we learned from everybody talking about the private ledger? The price of XRP is being tested at prices in the thousands on the private ledger. Now, when the banks come out of the testing phase, that would be the daily price for XRP. So if it's in the thousands, right away, when the banks come out of the testing phase, XRP could be a $2,000-3,000 asset. We really don't know. Some people have claimed to even see the price on the private ledger. But without true confirmation, I always said when we see the glitches, that's them testing XRP. And those glitches will lead to riches eventually. But let's see what happens once they come out of the testing phase. Fed Chair Powell said the Fed remains on track for more rate cuts as labor market risk outweigh tariff-driven inflation. So Powell was somewhat bullish today in what he was saying about possible rate cuts, but I guess the market wasn't buying it. I was expecting either a major pump or a major dump after Powell had his speech, but the market really didn't move that much. Maybe the market is not counting on the Fed this time around. DC FinTech Week begins today, October 14th to the 17th. Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, will share the stage with Fed Reserve governors, EU commissioners, and many more excellent speakers. Eleanor Tourette will also be there on stage. So we now know that Brad Garlinghouse is going to be at DC FinTech this week. You know who else is going to be there? The ECB and the IMF as well. Take a listen to what the IMF says about digital money.
But generally, you tell them to embrace it?
I'm telling countries, accept reality. Fiat money is moving digital. The developments in crypto, both unbacked and backed, they're happening with exponential speed. So yeah, you can try to lock your country away from this. Good luck with it. So yes, I'm telling my members, understand it and then decide for yourself how you're going to operate in this world. But do not close your eyes to reality.
So fiat money is going digital. We all knew this was going to happen. We are headed towards cashless society. And everybody always says there's never going to be a cashless society. Most people right now don't use cash at all. They're swiping cards, they're tapping their phone, and so on. So if you think that we're not going to see a cashless society, you're absolutely wrong. And there's going to be incentives to use digital money. You will see that happen as well. Convert your cash to digital money, and maybe you get a 10% return on that cash that you're cashing into digital money. Maybe for every dollar, you get $1.10. But that's the way the world is moving. And it's been happening for years now. And people for years kept saying, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. This is going to happen within the next couple of years. Everything is accelerating. And now they're blatantly telling you that this is coming. Google trends for altcoin season are exploding. Retail is waking up. Alt season hype is real. We are not in alt season yet. Alt season is still loading. We're waiting for it to happen. But everybody is preparing now for what comes next. Most people know that alt season is about to start. So they're positioning themselves now. And anybody that's still on the sidelines, they're going to have a lot of regrets over the next couple of months. But like I said at the beginning of this video, if you zoom out to the 7-day chart, you could see XRP is now moving sideways. That usually leads to a big move up. When is it going to happen? Nobody really knows. But we all know it's coming. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.